Hanshaw, and I'm here today to tell you about vaccinations. If someone could prevent the next epidemic, would they? Thanks to modern science, this is now a reality. Vaccinations are key in preventing the next epidemic. Renowned scientist Ezekiel Emanuel once said that vaccinations were one of the biggest trumps in modern medicine. Preventing the next epidemic is as simple as making your child a doctor's appointment today. Without vaccinations, there would be many preventable deaths around the globe each year. If your child is medically able to receive a vaccination, they should. A vaccination will help keep your children healthy, prevent the next outbreak, and one day completely eradicating the disease. For a majority of history, one of the biggest threats to human health has been infectious diseases. The World Health Organization estimates that 4.1 million people have died from vaccine-preventable diseases. For example, in 1900, one of the biggest threats one of the biggest deaths was infectious diseases such as pneumonia and tuberculosis. At this time, very few people lived past the age of 25. The life vaccinations have raised this number majorly. The only way you would survive back then is just to get it and just somehow miraculously survive from it. Today, childhood vaccinations prevent individuals from contracting disease, decreasing the risk of complications and death each year. Roughly 100 million children are vaccinated against common diseases, such as polio and measles each year. Approximately 2.7 of unvaccinated children die from diseases that could have been prevented. Preventable diseases are responsible for 14% of children's deaths each year. Even though the benefits of vaccinations are clear, some people might still oppose from it. They might believe from religious reviews because it causes other symptoms or other life-threatening problems, and sometimes they just think it's not safe, even though their doctor says it is. There are many reasons why people oppose. Like I said, some could be religious, sanitary, and political objections. In 1879, a smallpox outbreak led to the vaccine campaigns, which caused people to start second-guessing vaccinations. An anti-vaccination society group believed that people should have the right to decide whether their kids got vaccinated or not. But in 1905, the United States made it mandatory for the kid to get vaccinated. But then somehow, Kansas had a law that you didn't have to get vaccination if you had religious beliefs. You'd have to fill out this paper, and if you got approved, your kids could go to school and not be vaccinated, which is very scary. In recent years, Kansas alone has made up roughly 1/3 of mumps cases and a half of the measles cases in the United States. Kansas has a much higher rate of preventable diseases than other states because of this law. Some people are fighting to get this abolished to better protect their children in school. Schools are mandatory to get vaccinations because it only protects the children that attend the school and the faculty members that help teach their children. Having religious view is not a reason to exempt your child from getting vaccinated. Some people believe that if you receive vaccinations, you can develop health problems such as autism. One of the biggest theories is that MMR, which is measles, mumps, and rubella, vaccinations cause autism. However, the only evidence to support that is that autism was higher that year when MMR was given. The MMR vaccinations are used in the United States for years before it raised awareness about autism. Another argument skeptical is that the flu shot actually causes you to get the flu, but this is not the case. When you're injected with the flu shot, you're injected with a dead virus. And even though the virus is dead, you can still get symptoms such as aches and fevers and mimic symptoms of it, but you do not actually have the flu. You do not actually contract the virus. And the reason you should track vaccination is they are tested extensively before they are approved and distributed to the public. So they start off with, they have an animal and they'll test it on an animal and document the side effects and basically the pros and the cons of vaccinations. And then when they feel like they have better pros than cons, they'll distribute it to voluntarily people that undergo an experiment. And they document the side effects of the vaccinations. And the side effect could be simply as redness on your skin or being allergic to the vaccine. Children who are allergic to the vaccine are not required to get a vaccination, so that exempts them from getting it. Vaccine safety has greatly increased throughout the years too. It also is very close monitored by the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. The reality of vaccines-related health condition is that they protect children from acquiring a disease. They receive vaccination have slight chance of acquiring another disease. Also, they even have a slighter chance of having health problem in response to it. Vaccines do not just keep children healthy, they also protect the children around them as well. The protections of vaccination member is called herd immunity. Vaccinations achieve this by reducing the chance of outbreak. To reduce the chance of outbreak can create a healthier society for everyone to live in. Diseases that were once very common now are at a minimal rate because of the use of vaccinations. For example, measles, mumps, and rubella was once a very common disease. And who did they target? Children. These diseases were airborne, so basically you contract it by breathing the same air as the child that had it. At least 95% of people that got vaccinated that got vaccinations from measles, mumps, and rubella had stopped their disease from getting contracted, and this helped keep the disease at bay. If the percent of vaccinated children drops even slightly, then the chance of outbreak increases. Vaccinations do more than just prevent a disease. They have a potential of one day completely eliminating the disease as well. So far, polio has been eliminated in Europe, Western Hemisphere, and the Western Pacific. However, countries without vaccination is not as common, such as polio, is still a problem today. However, countries where the vaccine has been even more successful than the polio vaccine. Smallpox was introduced by settlers in the 1600s and 1700s by colonists. Their side effects were dramatic, and everyone was dying off from getting polio. But now this disease has rapidly spread through travel. Smallpox has been infecting and killing thousands of people before there were enough advanced technology to prevent it. But now there is, because in 1977, almost 40 years later, they prevented a smallpox vaccination. Smallpox is only human eradicated throughout the world. Vaccination had been discontinued, and stockpiles of smallpox vaccinations still exist. However, the slight chance it may resurface despite being eradicated. What would happen if people, if they use the vaccinations would just stop? Diseases that have been at bay for many years, such as polio, measles, the whooping cough, would come back. For example, in the United States, measles have decreased by 99% since the vaccination has begun. If vaccinations would stop, then this would present the disease rapidly, and it would increase, killing many people that could have been prevented. Measles is a very infectious disease that about 90% of people who contract it die. And diseases such as smallpox, hepatitis B, rubella, and more have been greatly introduced in the United States. If they were not to get vaccinated, it would just bring them back, and it would kill many innocent people. So, what can you do? You can make sure your child gets vaccinated to protect the public, because in conclusion, every child that is medically able to receive vaccination should. Vaccinations create a healthy society, and they keep those who receive them healthy and those around them. Vaccination has been gone as far as completely eradicating disease. Despite your religious views, your conspiracy theory about it causes this, it should not affect another child around them. And a child vaccination is for the greater good. The advancements of vaccine have came so far, and the creation will hopefully go even farther. So today, did you have your child vaccinated? Thank you.
Are you done?